They will smile to your face and sharpen knives behind your back, not because they have to, but because they can. Betrayal isn't an accident in this world, it's a strategy. People will study you, mimic your kindness, and mirror your ambition just enough to get close. And once they've drained what they need, they vanish, or worse, turn you into their next stepping stone. You've felt it, that sharp twist when someone you trusted used your loyalty like a weapon. That numb silence when the people you defended suddenly don't defend you. That's not bad luck. That's the real world. Most people aren't built to lift others. They're built to compete, to take, to outmaneuver. They won't always stab you directly. Some will applaud while you bleed. Others will wear your pain like entertainment. And the moment you break character and show weakness, they'll mark you as prey. If you think integrity alone will protect you, think again. This world doesn't reward purity. It studies it, manipulates it, then profits from it. You were taught to be nice while the world trains its winners to be strategic. They told you that honesty is noble, but nobility without power is a coffin. They told you to forgive everyone, but forgiveness without boundaries is an invitation to repeat betrayal. This video isn't about playing fair, it's about playing smart. It's about learning how power really works, and why the ones who rise aren't always the most talented or the most moral. They're the ones who understand the game beneath the surface. And that's where Machiavelli comes in. His words were never meant to coddle. They were built for survival, for those who live in a world where people lie with smiles and destroy with charm. If you want to survive that world, if you want to rise above it, you can't just be good. You have to be aware, cold, strategic, unshakable. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 Machiavellian truths that will harden your mindset and sharpen your instincts. These are psychological weapons, tools of survival. They will offend the weak and awaken the prepared. If you've been betrayed, manipulated, underestimated, this is your turning point. Because when you internalize what I'm about to share, you won't just be harder to hurt, you'll be impossible to control. Let's begin. Rule 1. Control your image ruthlessly. Perception is more powerful than truth. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." He wasn't warning you, he was arming you. In this world, what you seem to be matters more than what you actually are. People rarely look deeper than the surface, and even when they do, they see what they want to believe, not what's real. That's why your image must be crafted with the precision of a weapon, not to deceive, but to defend. You can be wise, powerful, and dangerous, but if you look average, they'll treat you like you're disposable, and that's exactly when they strike. Your image isn't decoration, it's camouflage, it's armor, it's misdirection. If people believe they've figured you out, they stop watching you closely. And when they're not watching, that's when you move. Stop showing your full hand. In chess, you don't announce your strategy. You bait them, you mislead them, you trap them. Your appearance should be a narrative you control, a distraction, a barrier between who you are and what they assume. The more invisible your true nature is, the more untouchable you become. Don't explain yourself. Every explanation is a crack in your wall. The moment you justify your decisions to people who aren't on your level, you give them a path into your mind. Let them judge you. Let them gossip. Their noise is your cover. Never beg to be understood. The world doesn't reward truth. It rewards illusion. So make yours sharp, deliberate, calculated. Don't be the loudest person in the room. Be the most unreadable. Keep them guessing while you execute. Keep them thinking you're simple while you build complexity. Transparency is a trap. It's a luxury you cannot afford. The more they know, the easier it is to predict, pressure, or control you. Even your kindness, if not managed, will be weaponized against you. Protect your depth. Guard your emotions. Speak less. Appear calm. Watch more. If they want to underestimate you, good. Let them. The wolf never corrects the sheep when it calls him harmless. It just waits. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I control what they see. I reveal only what I choose. Rule 2. Never rely on loyalty. Build leverage instead. Loyalty feels good until it doesn't. It feels safe until it crumbles. The mistake most people make is thinking loyalty is a bond. It's not. It's a contract with invisible ink, one that fades the moment it's no longer convenient. People aren't loyal to you. They're loyal to their needs, and when those needs change, so will their allegiance. Count on that. You've probably seen it. The ones who swore they'd never switch sides vanish the moment things get uncomfortable. The ones you stood by when it cost you won't even look back when it costs them. That's not betrayal. That's nature. You don't need to cry about it. You need to adapt. Leverage is the evolution of loyalty. While loyalty is based on trust, leverage is based on power. And power doesn't disappear when emotions shift. It stays, it holds, it controls. You don't ask people to stay. You make it so leaving you costs too much. That's how real power works. Machiavelli said it cold and clear. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. That means people will do what they have to do in the moment. They'll promise anything when they need you, and break everything when they no longer do. So stop trying to earn loyalty. Start collecting leverage. Know their motivations. Know their weaknesses. Know their addictions, insecurities, ambitions. Don't exploit them unless necessary, but never forget them. That's your control. That's your protection. Friendship is fragile. Strategy is not. Real connections can still exist, but never without boundaries, never without awareness. Give loyalty only where it's earned consistently, and even then, keep your insurance intact. People stay in relationships, jobs, alliances, not because they're loyal, but because the cost of leaving is higher than the benefit of walking away. That's what leverage does. It makes loyalty logical, not emotional. You become less replaceable, more dangerous to cross, and impossible to forget. Influence doesn't require dominance. It requires pressure applied quietly but consistently. Subtle reminders that betrayal has consequences. Unspoken awareness that you hold keys they don't want you to turn. That's how you stay protected. Now drop this affirmation in the comments. Loyalty is optional. Leverage is permanent. Rule 3. Always be 2 steps ahead. Strategy over emotion. If they can trigger you, they can trap you. And the moment you act out of emotion, you've given up the most powerful weapon you have, control. Emotions aren't bad, but they are dangerous when they're not mastered. The world doesn't care about how you feel. It responds to how you move. And if your moves are impulsive, reactive, or loud, then you're not playing the game. You're being played by it. Strategic people don't respond like everyone else. They observe patterns, watch reactions, and plan exits before problems even appear. They treat every word spoken to them as data, every silence a signal, every insult as insight, because they know this truth. Whoever stays calm controls the pace, and whoever controls the pace controls the outcome. Most people live in reaction. They bark back when insulted. They chase closure when betrayed. They defend their name to people who don't matter. But real players, don't get pulled into emotional traps. They let the noise echo in the background while they move in silence. Machiavelli warned us early. A man who wants to act virtuously in every way necessarily comes to grief among so many who are not virtuous. Meaning, if you play fair in a game where others cheat, you're not noble, you're blind. Strategy isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You don't need to be ruthless to win, but you need to be ready when ruthlessness shows up. Being 2 steps ahead means you're never surprised. It means you've already calculated your exit before they finish their sentence. You've already seen the betrayal before it happens, and made peace with it. That's how you win, not through emotion, but through awareness. You don't announce your plans. You don't advertise your growth. You let people underestimate you while you outgrow them in silence. When someone lies to you, take note. When they lash out, study the weakness they just exposed. When they try to provoke, recognize the control they don't have. Don't get mad when people show you who they are. Use it, weaponize the truth, predict the pattern, and keep moving in silence. Now say it in the comments. I don't react. I calculate. I outmaneuver. Rule 4. Power is taken, not given. Demand nothing. Command everything. Power doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who move. If you're still hoping that respect will be handed to you for working hard or being a good person, you've already disqualified yourself from the game. The world doesn't operate on fairness, it operates on dominance. And dominance isn't always loud or aggressive. It's presence, it's certainty, it's the quiet confidence that makes people adjust when you walk into a room. No one's going to give you your place. You either take it or stay invisible. You either speak with conviction or stay unheard. People are trained to respond to strength, not noise, not emotion, but authority. The moment you wait for permission, you shrink. The second you ask for recognition, you lose leverage. Power is not about approval, it's about position. If someone disrespects you and you do nothing, you've taught them that it's allowed. If someone dismisses your value and you over-explain yourself, you've just proven them right. You don't explain your worth, you display it. Without apology, without hesitation. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." That doesn't mean you have to be cruel. It means that being liked is not enough. People respect what they fear losing. Fear isn't always about being intimidating. It's about being unshakable. It's about making it clear that crossing you comes with a price, that your presence demands respect, not through force, but through undeniable self-command. Don't ask people to respect your space. Own it. Don't wait to be invited to the table. Flip the table, build your own, and make them watch. Be the kind of person who doesn't have to say, "I'm valuable," because everything about you shows it. Every move you make should remind people that you don't need approval to act. You don't need validation to lead. You don't wait for a crown. You craft it through results, through resilience, through quiet power that speaks louder than any title. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I take what's mine. I don't beg. I build. Rule 5. Hide your pain. Never bleed in front of wolves. The world watches you more closely when you're wounded. They don't lean in to help, they lean in to measure how deep the cut is. Because weakness, when exposed, becomes a signal, and predators are always listening for that signal. In public, they'll nod, offer fake sympathy, maybe even say they're here for you, but behind closed doors, they'll use that same information to target you where it hurts most. That's the game, and if you don't play it, you get played by it. Your pain? It's sacred. It's yours, not a currency to be spent on comfort from people who only pretend to care. You don't owe anyone your vulnerability. That's a luxury. And luxuries are earned, not handed out to the first smooth talker who acts concerned. When you show your wounds in the wrong rooms, you give them the blueprint to destroy you. So don't show them. Heal in silence, process in solitude, and present yourself as steel, no matter what breaks behind your eyes. Machiavelli never said it directly, but he lived it. Rulers cannot afford the luxury of visible weakness. He watched men lose everything not because they were weak, but because they looked weak. Perception is lethal. Once people believe you're damaged, they treat you like a liability. Power and pity don't coexist. If they pity you, they won't fear you. And if they don't fear you, they'll walk all over you while pretending to care. This isn't about being emotionless. It's about being controlled. You don't have to bury your humanity. Just don't serve it to people who will feed on it. Vulnerability has value, but only when it's used with precision. Not when it leaks out uncontrolled. Share your story after you've mastered it, not while it's still tearing you apart. Be unbreakable in public, even if you're in pieces behind the scenes. Don't post your breakdowns online. Don't announce your struggles to people who haven't earned your trust. Your silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It keeps you dangerous. It keeps you untouchable. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My pain is power. My silence is strength. Rule 6. Use people's desires to control them. People are not moved by logic, they're moved by desire. You can show them facts, truth, even consequences, and none of it will matter if it doesn't align with what they want. The fastest way to gain control over someone is not by force, but by understanding what drives them at their core. Their deepest craving becomes their leash. The moment you identify what they chase, attention, power, money, approval, validation, you have the ability to lead them without ever pushing. You don't have to manipulate with aggression. You manipulate with subtlety. Give them a glimpse of what they want, just enough to taste it. Then create the understanding that access to that desire comes through you. That's control. And it doesn't look like control. It looks like opportunity. People chase the illusion of choice, but if you're the one designing the menu, they've already lost. Machiavelli said, men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. But in today's world, it's not just love or fear. It's image, it's ego, it's the feeling of being seen, needed, admired. Use that. If someone thrives on recognition, give them praise sparingly, just enough to keep them addicted to your approval. If someone craves power, position them close to it, but not inside it. Let them feel 1 inch away from the goal. That's the sweet spot of control. You don't need to threaten people to own their loyalty. All you need is the ability to reward or remove what they want. And when they know that, they will begin to orbit you. You'll never have to chase. You'll never have to demand. You'll guide them with offers, not orders. The strongest form of influence is invisible. It's quiet. It's psychological. They'll think it was their idea. They'll believe they're in control. But every move they make is based on the unspoken structure you built around their desire. That's when you know you've mastered the game. Use charm, attention, silence, access, whatever their vices. Dangle it, shape it, weaponize it. The puppet never sees the strings. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control outcomes by controlling desires. Rule 7. Never be too useful or too available. Scarcity creates respect. The more they see you, the less they value you. That's a hard truth most people refuse to accept. You keep showing up, giving more, being present for everyone, thinking it earns you loyalty or love. It doesn't. It earns you expectations. The more available you are, the more they start to assume you'll always be there. And once they assume that, they stop respecting your presence. They stop hearing your words. They stop seeing your worth. You become background noise, reliable, replaceable, invisible. And the worst part, you trained them to see you that way, not because you weren't valuable, but because you made your value too accessible. If you're always around, you become common, and people do not worship what they consider common. They only value what they have to earn. What's rare? What disappears? Machiavelli observed, "Men, in general, judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration." It doesn't matter if your intentions are pure or your value is real. If you appear too available, they will judge you as less important. That's how the world works. Appearances matter more than substance, until scarcity forces them to pay attention to the substance they took for granted. Being too useful makes you a tool, and tools get replaced the moment something shinier shows up. So stop trying to be everything. Stop answering every call. Stop showing up for people who wouldn't even notice your absence. Create distance. Make people earn your time. When you speak, let it carry weight. Not because you're loud, but because you're rare. You don't have to be cold or detached. You just have to be intentional. Be present when it matters. But pull back before they start thinking you'll never leave. Your absence should speak louder than your presence ever could. When they don't hear from you, they should wonder what you're building. When they don't see you, they should feel it. Let the mystery elevate you. Let the silence build tension. Make them remember how powerful your presence is by limiting it. The world won't change for you. It won't pause for your pain. It won't reward your honesty or protect your loyalty. It will test you, betray you, lie to you, and then act like it never happened. That's reality. And the sooner you stop expecting fairness, the sooner you start gaining power. You now know the game. You've seen beneath the surface, the lies, the politics, the silent wars people fight behind fake smiles and empty promises. But knowledge is only step one. What you do with it determines who you become. You're not here to be liked. You're here to endure, to outlast, to dominate with precision, not noise. The people who win are the ones who adapt, not the ones who cry for justice in a world that's never known it. Clarity is your edge. Calm is your armor. Control is your weapon. Never forget this. Perception is power. Survival depends on strategy, not sympathy. Stay dangerous. Stay untouchable. The next move is yours. If this spoke to you, don't just nod and scroll. Act. Like the video. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Because this channel isn't here to comfort you. It's here to prepare you. We don't teach motivation. We teach mental warfare. We don't preach positivity. We train strategy. This isn't about feeling good. It's about becoming unstoppable. Here, we rip off illusions. We decode manipulation. We sharpen your thinking until no one can use you again. If you're done being played, this is your new battleground. Stick around. Every video builds you stronger, smarter, colder, mentally dangerous, emotionally bulletproof, socially untouchable. Welcome to the other side. Let's keep building.